All right. So good morning, Oldfield. Today is Tuesday, April 21st, and it's 8 a.m. We're going to be doing a core class today. A couple of housekeeping ideas before we begin is now's a great time if you want to put on a background playlist. I'll be doing verbal instruction. So if you want to play some music in the background that's got a subtle beat or anything that is enthusiastic or energizing for you, you can go ahead and do that. We're also going to be using a mat or a floor space, so a carpet, anything is fine, but get yourself comfortable. I will be doing the whole class barefoot. Your option is, of course, you can wear sneakers if you choose, rip socks, whatever makes sense. But it is a core class. We'll be focusing on hips, glutes, abdominals, inner thigh, a little bit of everything. The trunk of the body is going to be our focus. I always like to share a couple of tidbits with you. So today, which is Tuesday, April 21st, I don't know if you can read this, but it says, the secret to getting ahead is getting started. So we're gonna actually start, right? We're just gonna take a step forward. So the secret to getting ahead is just getting started. So you're gonna work with your body where you are today, and feel free to add a little intensity. We do that by really focusing on the muscle that we're working and squeezing. You can also do that with your breath, and I'll explain it all. On that note, here we go. So coming onto our mat, onto all fours. Starting a little warm up and a wake up call to our core. Fingers are wide and strong. Tucking our toes under. We'll allow the belly to drop, lifting the tail, lifting the gaze, untucking the toes, and draw everything in and up. And then again, stretching out. Inhaling, softening the shoulders. Exhaling, pulling that belly in. Take a little peek at your seat. You do this a couple more times at your pace. Focal point is stretching length into the spine. One more time, inhale. Draw the heart, blossom through the chest, and then exhale. Draw all the way back. Beautiful, we're gonna take the same movement, but to the side. So you're gonna stay in that all fours position. We're gonna take our left shoulder to our left hip, and then swinging and sliding to the other side, right shoulder to right hip. So it's that same arcing, and now you're gonna feel it in the sides of your body. Put a little tug on the abdominals so the spine is supported. Draw the hip to the shoulder. And then match that to the other side. So one side's getting a little contraction, the one that you're leaning into. Other side's getting a nice stretch. If you're a little curious of what's going on behind you, you can certainly add the gaze, but you don't have to. We'll try this one more time. Coming back to center. Taking a little pressure off our hands. We're gonna be kneeling. So as always, if you need a little cushion, you're gonna put that cushion underneath, but I'm really resting on my shins more than my knees. Inhale. Identify that right arm, and it's gonna wrap underneath left. And then you can make any connection, any bind, for those of you who do yoga. It's called eagle arms. We're gonna inhale, draw the elbows up, the gaze up. You may be ready to lean back, and then as you exhale, pull the shoulders down, the abs in, round down, hands and head dangle. Pressing through the shins, rise, float, look up, nice little stretch. We're still waking up the spine and connecting with those muscles. They're gonna assist us through the next 45 minutes. One more time. Big stretch up, maybe leaning back through leg strength, And then exhale, pull belly in, round. Inhale, come back to center, unravel, other side. Left arm will swim under. You'll make your cross as high as you can. Any design or shape is fine. And you'll start it with this fluid movement. Getting the shoulders and the arms. Have a little morning wake-up call. So this is not a yoga class, it's a core class, but the breath may be of use. You may inhale, filling up, stretching up, and as you exhale, pull the belly in, round down, support, and feel that nice release in the low back. One more time, your best. Spinal wave of Tuesday morning. Inhale, come back to center, release. Then we'll do one more movement and we're gonna start class. It's a jump rope. We're gonna place our hands back down onto all fours. And we're gonna pretend our torso is a jump rope. And we're gonna be twirling that jump rope in one direction, up and over the jumper. So the belly will come way down by the mat to get right underneath the sneakers of the jumper. And then you'll bring the arch of the spine all the way up and over the ponytail of the jumper. And then we'll pause and switch directions. If you're looking for more, those elbows will have a generous bend. Beautiful. Really highlighting the abdominals, swirling and twirling, movement and motion. One more. And rise up and take any few stretches or movements that you need. Maybe a sip of water, and we're going to start class. So cheers. Our first movement is going to be done standing to highlight the glutes. Our feet are going to come out wide like you're squatting in the weight room. So ideally just outside the shoulders, but I want them comfortable for you. Then it looks something like this, and we'll just perform it together. We're going to squat back and down, lift the heels up off the mat, drop the heels back down, and stand tall. All right, so that's the movement. Find your feet, heels a tad heavy. We'll squat down, hold the squat, lift up onto your toes, lower back down, and come back up. So initially start off super slow. There's some energy in the legs, squeezing those glutes. So squatting down as low as you can, adding that heel lift for some foot help. And then for some of you, you may want to pause and go even slower. Others may want to speed it up or add a little jump. You don't have to. But we're here for about 20 more seconds. Squat, calf raise, press up. Squat, calf raise, press up. Again, a little bracing of the abdominals to support you in this squatting position. This also is a really good wake up to charge up the entire body to make sure you are ready psychologically, physiologically for class. We've got one more. And done. Okay, the next one, we're just going to do one more for those legs, getting the arms to charge up a little bit, and then we'll hone in, and it's called a walkout. So I'll give you a little visual on the side. We're going to squat down, hands come down. You're going to walk out those legs into plank. You can lower the knees, no worries. You're going to walk those feet back in, And just lift the hands up, hands back down, walk back into a plank. You can stay here for as long as you would like. Walk back up, find your seat, hands up. So begin. It may take several steps to get back into your plank. That's fine. If you can, once you're stepping back into your plank, reach through those heels and squeeze your knees strong and straight. It may take several steps to get your feet toward your hands, and that's fine. And we'll try this about 4 more times. Hips are low. Ideally, thighs parallel with the floor. My feet are comfortable coming outside my hands, so I have a little more opening in my hips. We'll do one more walkout. Let's go. Boom, and take a seat. Blood flowing, everything ready and charged up. We're gonna now focus on the abdominals. We're gonna start with a food, a clam. We're gonna be doing a couple of clams, starting with the abs and then moving into our hips. We're gonna start with a clam, reach through. So to reach through, your hands can be in any bind or position, and there's gonna be lengthening and reaching through. What they are gonna do is the shoulder is gonna actually traction you forward, not so much head and neck. So I'm gonna roll myself down, find my legs into a clam. I like to have my heels touch. Opening move, hands back behind the skull, and we start to crunch. So join me. So your legs may look like a diamond, or we call this a clam, an open clam. You're finding that C-curve spine where the head and shoulders float, low back anchors. Okay, if you're ready for that clam reach through, you'll find those hands and begin to reach them through. Shoulders will traction. Head floats because your abs are on. Each exhalation draws you into that reach through. For those of you who are looking to up level, see if you can get those hands farther out than your feet. We'll try this for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Clam reach through. Take a flushing breath. We'll do that one more time. Not as long. You're gonna go right into the position that works for you. So heels touching this time, or for an amp up or a level up, soles the feet touch. I'll remind you, so find your feet, squeeze your seat, control your core, and start to float up. Supporting the head is an option, or go right into your clam reach through, and this time, maybe a little more pacing. For 8, 7, 6, 5, reach it, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Exhale, let that all wash over you. Coming over to one side. So it doesn't matter which side, I'm just gonna cue top leg and bottom leg. What does matter is that your head is comfortable. So you have an option if your head likes to hang onto the bicep pillow or prop up onto your elbow. I'm just gonna do this so I can see the screen a bit easier, but just make sure your neck feels okay. Then we're gonna bend our hips 90 degrees, knees 90 degrees. And then our fingertips are in front. We're gonna roll forward slightly and pull that belt buckle in. Clams. Heels are gonna glue, and we're just gonna slowly lift that top leg up and down. Join me. So your toes are apart, heels are glued, abs are strong, and your hips are not rocking back and forth, just the top leg is opening like a door, like a hinge. If you're looking for a little more, your knees don't have to touch and rest. You can keep some space in this variation of a clam. Good, about 5 more. We're really honing in on that glute external rotator group. Breathe. Fabulous. All right, when you're ready, we're going to continue those clams. We're going to call them air clams by lifting up our feet. Toes still apart, and here we go. And I think Mr. Charlie is excited to see the clams. Keep that movement. So your abdominals are lifting your legs, and you're continuing that clam motion. Hips are stacked. Top hip is rotating. And we're here for about 5 more. So deepen the breath. That may help meet the demand or the sensation of the hips. But this single movement is so healthy for low back and knees. Beautiful. Finish on a really strong air clam. Now separate. We're going to do what's called leprechauns. Our knees are going to touch by rotating down, and then our heels are going to touch. Click. And here we go. Bottom leg stays suspended. Top leg, leprechaun. We click the knee, click the heel. Click the knee, click the heel. So we've got internal rotation, external rotation. Honing in on that top hip. And about 5 more. Really amp up that breath, and the last 1 or 2 reps are your best. And then we release. Woo! Then you can take your hand and kind of give it a little knock. That hip needs a little release. We'll stretch at the end of class. Taking this to the other side. You can certainly roll to the other side. You don't need to see me. I'm just going to flip and orientate myself same way, but on a new side. Head can come all the way down. Head can be propped and supported. Spine long, hips at a 90-degree angle, and knees at a 90-degree angle. Top hand will support, we'll roll into that top hand, simultaneously pull that belt buckle back. Glue the heels, separate the toes, and clam on this side. Doesn't have to be big or fast. In fact, it should be very methodical, focusing on the muscle. Muscles, right? Yeah. You don't have to drop the knee all the way down. It can stay suspended off the bottom knee, and that will give you a little more connection, a little more challenge, and it's also called controlling, right? I want to control our body, our movements. 1 and done. Keep the clam position, hike up those heels, and continue. So I like to really energize my toes, really glue my heels together. Rely on my resource, which is my abdominals, to keep my feet lifted for my air clams. 5 more. The side may feel a bit different. We have a dominant side and a non-dominant side in our bodies. Just work through this. We're doing a count of 20 of everything on both sides. Beautiful, that hits it. Keep the feet up, separate the legs, leprechaun, knee dives down, heel touches. Little leprechaun, click and click, click and click. Working on rotation of that ball and socket joint, the hip. Our hip loves to move in different positions. And I am counting 4 more. 3. Breathe with me. 2. 1. And no drama, just relax those hips down. You can kind of rub or give a little knock on the door there to give it a little release. So that's our clams. You're gonna slowly help yourself up. And Charlie's coming back to say hello. Okay, we're gonna start with some leg lifts. Going back to our abdominal work, we're gonna be in a C-curve spine. Option is to have the hands right by your hips. We're gonna be lying on our back, or hands right underneath your low back. Either one is fine. So make your way down, rolling yourself down, hands coming to the side of the hips or underneath. Can you call Charlie? Maybe not. Okay. So he's just blocking the screen. And hands may come up underneath the hips. Head can stay down, but the low back is pressing against the earth. Head and shoulders can float up. We're going to start with those heels. Lower the legs to the degree that you feel it. So a little higher, a tad more accessible, lower, a bit more challenging. Then we're going to start to flutter just with the heels right now. And here we go. Just 20 seconds. It's a small flutter, a strong flutter, heels reaching, knees squeezing straight, head floating. 3, 2, 1, and rest. You can hug those thighs in. Round 2, get yourself set. Keep your hands by your sides or underneath the low back. Supporting the head up, this time flutter kicking. The point of the toes is the focus. You can start where you need to train, or maybe lower those legs for an added challenge. Pointing and reaching those legs away from you, and it's a small, tight, strong flutter. Sorry, Charlie. He's excited for the flutters and the clams today. All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. We've got one more. I'm going to give you a different angle. I want to call this scissors or crisscross applesauce. Same setup, so you don't need quite the instruction. And you're going to crisscross those legs as we lower and lift. Join me when you're ready. Find your core. Strong point of the toes. And then a little inner thigh action as we crisscross applesauce. Lifting and lowering those legs, highlighting rectus abdominis. Beautiful. One stroll back up, one stroll back down, and rest. Hug those knees in. Now's a great opportunity to roll like a ball. And taking this time to realign the spine. Next time you're up, we're going to be planking. So remember, your planks can be done on the wall. Planks can be done on a chair, as long as you are not going to have any movement of that chair. We're going to be on our hands today, not so much our forearms. However, you're welcome to start on the forearms is a bit more challenging. So your choice. We're going to be coming into a long spine and bringing our knee to our elbow. So you don't have to wait for me. For those of you who want a little more repetition, this is a plank, and the movement is knee to the elbow. I'm giving the knee a little tap, but it's a control tap. What I don't want to do is kick into my elbow and force it to move in the direction it doesn't want to move. Okay, if you're looking for a little more excitement, stretch that body out, lengthen up, find your high push-up plank, and 20 seconds. Bringing knee to elbow. You can be on the forearms, that's a tad more challenging. And the idea is get that hip mobility through core stability to get that knee to touch. And we'll try this 4 more times. And when you feel complete, lower down and rest. We're gonna do that one more time. We're just gonna add a diagonal pattern, bringing the knee across the body, preferably to touch all the way to that opposite elbow. A modification, you can be on all fours. Knee's gonna come up and cross the midline of the body and give a little love tap to the elbow. All right, get into your best position, forearm or full arm extension. Find your best plank and begin. Bringing that knee across. Upper back may have a little roundness to it to really engage the abdominals. As you reach back, it's a firm press through the heels, legs charged up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Let it all go. Shake it on out if you need to. Sipping some water. Okay, what's next on our list here? What do we have for some fun? Oh, we're gonna be moving into our back. So we're gonna be on our bellies for a bit, doing some supine, some prone work for our back. So we're gonna come down, grasshopper. So for those of you who know your grasshopper, you're gonna do that. For those of you who are learning, no worries, we're gonna stack our hands like I Dream a Genie, and your forehead is gonna rest firmly, and you're gonna press it into your forearms. No need to look at the screen once we start the exercise. So slide yourself out onto your space. Take the legs out wide, bend the knees. Glue those heels together, similar like our clams. I don't know why this is called the grasshopper, but anyways, your belly button's gonna come in. Just for showing purposes, I'm gonna drop my skull, squeeze my seat, and get my thighs off the mat. If that movement is pretty basic, keep those knees suspended and pulse. Are you ready? Here we go. Glue the heels, tap the forehead down, pull the belly in, push the hips down, and start your grasshopper. Squeeze your seat. And once again, take the momentum out. It's not about getting the thighs up. It's about getting the glutes to activate. So don't do anything awkward or different to make it look like you're doing it better. Better is better. Abs in. A couple more squeezes. And rest. So your rest may be just relaxing down or sliding back into child's pose to neutralize. We're going to visit that flutter kick again, but on our bellies. So coming back down, prone position. We're going to lengthen the legs back and firm them up. Taking the arms out, drawing everything up, and add that lat pull as you flutter. Cactus arms, squeezing and lifting. Elbows sliding toward the body. Firming up those legs. Moving from the glutes. 1 and done. Rest how you wish. Drop the head, slide back into child's pose. We're working back body, super healthy. We've got two more. Superman, Superwoman. We're gonna stretch our bodies out, going for length. And then when you're ready, let's do it together. Squeeze everything and go for some height and fly around, checking out the city below. So your gaze will be looking down at your mat, but not dropping your head. Keeping your spine in alignment. Can you lift those arms and legs a bit higher? checking out the city below. You can actually do that like you're actually Superwoman, Superman flying around. Beautiful. One more squeeze. Go for length, go for height, and rest. We're going to take that movement and we're just going to add motion. So I'm going to call this a starfish that went to PE class or physical education gym class and is doing a jumping jack. So starfish, you've got this, coming out into a long extended position. If the limbs out long is a bit too much, of course you can bend everything, right? When you're ready, go for length, go for height, and then start your jumping jack. Reaching those arms and legs out and sliding them, not worrying about the cadence or if it's a proper jack. Core stability for limb mobility. In 4, in 3, in 2, 1, and done. Slide it back, neutralize that spine. Give it a nice stretch. Swing those legs around. Jackknife. Jackknife. We're going to be adding a little twist to the spine. Obliques are going to be stabilizing and allowing us to lift. So when I come into, it's called a jackknife in Pilates, but I want you to set up like a boomerang. So you know how a boomerang's got a little bit of an angle. So I'm going to send my hips back slightly and bring my toes and hands on the same side of the mat. So there's a little bit of an angle here in my body. So hips back. The most important part of the movement is bottom arm is right down by your sides. Top hand is going to just be an extension of your elbow, excuse me, of your ear. Elbow is going to lean, and when you're ready, you're going to push off and rise up. We're here for 10. If you're looking for a little more, the legs can straighten and the arms can match that. You're pushing off that bottom elbow, using your abs, strong exhale. Jackknife. Pick the variation, the form that suits you. 1 and done. Switching sides. Boomerang position, setting ourselves up for jackknife. So hips will push back slightly. Bottom hand pressing down. Now lines up with the hip parallel with the legs. Get yourself set and begin your jackknife on the side. We're only doing about 10. Legs may lengthen for a challenge. Arm may lengthen. It's not about getting up, it's about activating and feeling. Move authentically from the center of your core. The exhale will help you. 3 more jackknives. 2 more. Final 1. And rest. Super good. Let me see my sheet to make sure we hit all sides. Okay. We are going to do a side plank, hip dip, and then we'll finish with the gut again, the rectus abdominis area. So we're going to come into side plank. You can be on your forearm. That's probably more challenging. I'm going to come to my hand because I'm having some elbow issues lately, but side plank, hand or forearm. Knees can stay bent and low. And then you're going to lift yourself up and we're just going to hip dip. If you're looking for an up level, top leg, hip dip, or top leg extends out, hip dip. Find your variation. And here we go. Drop the hips, tenth the hips for 8. Belly in, tail long. Awesome. Great job. And release it down, other side. Build your side plank. Get ready for your hip dips. Find a variation where you can continue to maintain really good form. So no matter what position you're in, we're in a long line of energy, and we've started dipping and lifting. Press those hips toward your screen. Pull your skull back so everything's in alignment. Feel those muscles wake up. Some of our muscles are stabilizing us, others are lifting. Using gravity, one more. And rest. Coming on down. All right. Final movement. We're going to be playing with the front of our abs to complete this session. We're going to start in a boat hold and then move into some pulsing. Go back to a boat hold and then continue to crunch. It may look something like this. I'm going to find my place. I said boat hold first. So we're going to start actually seated. Sorry about that correction. Boat hold, boat hold, boat hold. Your choice. Here we go. So find your variation. Find your abdominals, and this is a static position. Yogic boat hold, you can come way down. Your choice. Find what works for you. Put down is fine. 3, 2, roll it down, lift, head and shoulders up, take those legs at an angle and little crunches. Smaller, tighter. This is too much, take the legs higher, bend the knees, go on a little more, send those legs out. 3, 2, come back into your boat, find your variation, your depth. Static, stationary hold. Go for the gusto. Beautiful, keep cycling that breath. Roll it back, find your place, crunch it up. Little pulses, higher, 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 higher for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I lied, keep it going. 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and finish. Woo! Flush air. Breathe. And then take your time coming up into a seated position. We'll do a nice light stretch. You can sit however you wish. Lengthening the left arm and finding a nice stretch to that left side body. So wherever you can maintain the breath and the length, that's going to be your best stretch. Bottom shoulder can soften. Other side. Inhale, stretch up. Find your form and then just stay and breathe. Bottom arm has a little bounce to it, it's relaxed. Beautiful. Coming on to all fours, we're going to repeat that cat-cow, but it's called abstract cat-cow. So you're going to find your hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees down, and you're just going to start to wiggle and squirm. Making any type of abstract design to release and relax. If you're looking for a little more, the elbows can bend and you can make the movement a bit more dramatic. Be creative. Tent all the way up. Drop the head. Nice tuck of the tail. And our last one coming all the way down onto the belly. TV watching pose. Stretch it all the way out. This is a bit adventurous. Of course, you can drop your head down. You've got the ability to hike up onto the forearms and just pull the chest forward. This is where we're going to be for the last 30 seconds of our session. So thank you for coming out this morning. Remember, the secret to getting ahead is just getting started. So thanks for starting your day with me. If you're going to be coming to the next class, it is cardio dance. We have a couple of new tunes. It's a quick, fun playlist. We'll be doing a swing, a merengue. What else do we have? Some legs, just a fun track. Even if you don't dance, it's a great way to improve brain health by learning a new pattern with your feet. I'll show everything low impact, and then you can spice it up and have some fun. One more huge breath in for yourself. A relaxing breath out. Slide back into a comfortable place. And thank you so much, everybody. I'm just going to stop the recording, take everybody off mute if you want to say hello or ask any questions. But have a fine day, and thank you for moving with me.